channeling from the quantum downs. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Black goat elf, Dotta puppet too. Bearsnake by the ocean blue. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Kobolds and dream masters soar, putting their root on the door. It's Wizard Wednesday forevermore. Wizard Wednesday, lore at the core. We are a cult with a world of our own, never forgotten or magic is known. It's Wizard Wednesday, it's Wizard Wednesday. Let's read from the book of lore, legendary wizards at the core. Don't get lost in the quantum shadow, abracadabra is our magical manifesto. Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Eat a donut, set your soul on fire. The sacred flame on a funeral pyre. The seventh gate with golden locks. The nightmare imp with a treat box. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday.
Today is September 11th, 2024. It is Wizard Wednesday, and it's a good day to join a cult. Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, this is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul. I've got some friends on stage with me. And unmute.
Uh-oh.
Starting off strong.
Dotta, we can't hear you. You're lost in the quantum shadow. What's up, Elf? It's Bear. How you doing, brother?
What up there?
Entropy, you there?
I am, yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, we got you. We got you. And we got Tad up here. And Matto.
Yeah, they let me out of the dungeon for a few minutes, so happy to have a time to join you guys.
Wait, Tad, which dungeon were you in?
The ticket dungeon, the worst one. The drops there are terrible. I've been fighting the tickets for 14 days straight, and I still haven't gotten the recipe. It's terrible. Can't devs do something?
I'm so sorry, Tad. Yes, we will do something about that.
Oh man, I tried to unmute and Twitter would not unmute. And Dotta, it's me. Hey everybody.
That was awkward. Hi, what up, dude?
Hi, what's up? Sorry guys.
We just basically did the whole show while you were trying. So it's over now.
Okay.
Well, that was good. Wizard Wednesday, 165.
Hey, what level
Channeling
are you
out from the
guys?
Quantum Downs.
What level are you guys in the Runiverse game?
Wait, what?
What level are you?
Oh, I'm 13.
Oh man, Bear.
I'm 7.
Seven.
I'm sorry.
You even work here?
Working. Yeah, I do work here. That's exactly what I do.
Bear, do you even daily donut?
Listen, guys, I started off real strong, and then I just got all consumed with all the little details, and shilling one by one across the metaverse about our game.
No excuse. No excuse.
Excuse.
Well, I know. I'm only level 15. I got to get to level 20.
Well, we got a big show today. We've got actually a lot of cult questions just came in at the last minute. And we want to talk a little bit about some game metrics, and just a bunch of other game stuff. But I don't know what do you want to start with the land hack that just happened this morning?
Yeah. So this morning there was another exploit of the land minting infrastructure, which was not not great. The good news is that the exploiter was actually relatively friendly, and I consider them kind of a gray hat, right? Which means sort of like got away with some plots. They sold some of the plots they minted, but at the other hand, they were also kind of felt a little bit bad about it. They said, we really like the game, and they came back and were chatting with us and were able to return a lot of the plots. So yeah, excellent work on the Bisonic team side and being able to address it super quickly. They detected it really quickly. They made some changes last time, and they made even some more changes this time to kind of prevent that from happening in the future. We've talked about this in the chat. I can't make any promises, but I think it's pretty likely that we move to a model in live service where there's a bit of a delay. One of the issues maybe here was this idea that like as soon as you get your deed, you are able to mint it immediately. And well, it seems that like a pretty easy piece to put in place is that you actually need to hold your land for a bit of time before you can even put it on chain, and that would give us a chance to detect more anomalies, and it also would. It's also just good because ideally you're minting this land to use it in the game, right? So give you an opportunity to kind of move in, build your house, look around, at least look at the land before you decide to part with it. So yeah, that's taken care of. Excellent work for the Bisonic team.
Yeah, I know you were basically doing a hostage negotiation with this guy this morning. It sounds like it went okay. Did you ask him to join the cult afterward?
You know what? I didn't. That was a miss. That was a
No,
miss.
it wasn't.
You know,
We aren't we hiring him?
yeah, we actually offered him to work for us to help do kind of like red team work to find these holes in the future.
Yeah, so he did join the cult.
Yeah, hopefully he accepts.
Quite
yeah.
Literally.
He's a holder of plenty of the assets. So
tell him I'll make him a special gray hat wizard. We have white hats, we have shadow hats. There are special gray hats who we employ under these circumstances.
Only if he gives back all the land, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, I haven't even thought about this. Is like owning land qualify you for being part of the cult, right? If someone picks up land, do we reply with this idea? Welcome to the cult. We haven't decided.
I think so.
I think so. Right? Like,
yeah.
I think
you own a piece of the Runiverse? That screams cult to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. You're in the cult. You can't help it. So there's some questions about that this morning. People are saying, will the newly exploited land become corrupted or not? And the answer is no. Or have a fully different trait altogether. Also, the plan for that is no. I don't think that's changing. So the rationale, right? The rationale here is, I think that when we had the first exploit earlier in the week or whatever day it was, maybe it was last week. I can't even remember. The idea was to try to like make lemonade, have something fun there, and have a special trait that those lands will have. But then at the same time, folks were kind of complaining, saying, well, maybe the kind of quote unquote reward or something that you get is just the fact that you got cheap land, right? You don't need to make it even more rare and benefit the people that bought. Even Give a Hoot was saying like, look, I don't know how I feel about this morally. Like, is it okay for me to buy quote unquote like stolen land, right? And there's a lot of discussion and kind of thoughtful people in the Discord and so, yeah, I don't think that it's really necessary for these new plots to get a new corrupted trait. I mean, one of the things we even mentioned is that there weren't going to be other lands that were corrupted. Those were supposed to be the only ones. And so I think even if they did have a separate trait, it would be something new. But I don't think we're going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're just going to leave those plots as is. And that will just be part of their history.
Okay, this is actually one thing I'm a little confused on, this idea of the corrupted land. What even is it? Like, is it land in an area on the map that's like corrupted? I don't get what it is.
Yeah, well, I think that is to be announced. The details there, I'm not quite ready to share here on Wizard Wednesday, but what has been shared in the game announcements, if you look, is that the corrupted lands will basically have a special trait that the other land plots won't have. So, and that what we said in the announcement was that it'll be granting bonuses in the full game's release. So we'll leave it at what the announcement says.
Sounds good.
Yep. One of the things about the land too, sorry, one more thing,
go ahead.
is we're working on the land browser. Man, I don't think that anybody outside of the team recognizes how large the world is. And when we drop this map browser, it's going to be the first time that people realize just like the enormous size of the Runiverse and the degree to how many things we've built out. And um, not all of the land will actually be revealed at the time the map browser is out. But you'll be able to get a sense of scale of the continent. In the current place, right? Because in the current game, it leans a lot on teleporting, right? If you want to get to your land plot, you've got to teleport there, and it shows you, that you're at some weird part of the map that you can't get to any other way. That's just a consequence of being, beta, an early version. When you travel to other levels, right? That's you teleport. But in the full game will be open world. That you'll actually just be able to walk from location to location. And I really, truly, you're going to need those mounts because the world is just massive. And so, yeah, I've been coding that every day. There's a lot. It's such a huge world that generating all the tiles takes like hours and hours and hours. It takes like 60 hours or something to generate the tiles. And so, our team's been working on um, creating jobs to generate it across 100 computers in an hour, and so all these things. So it's just a massive world, and I can't wait to release the land browser.
It's huge, and it's only even a portion of what the world's going to be too, because like we have more that's going to be expanding as the game goes live and it starts expanding further. So like we have a huge amount of land right now, and there's so much room for more to even be there later. So it's amazing.
Plus everything that's under the water in Atlantis on the backside of
Right,
the
yeah.
world, right? So I mean, that's like a whole DLC package right there.
Hey, we've already got pirates, so it's in world.
Yeah, I was browsing land on the Mavis Market the other day, and it's just fun, like filtering by location and seeing how many different places you can buy land in. I really need a plot in the Thorn, and the Thorn is. It appeared to me that it's one of the more premium places to have land. So, join me in the Thorn, fellow Dark Wizards.
Amazing.
Nah, I'm gonna be at Dreammaster Lake.
You have been wanting Dreammaster Lake for like 3 years.
Day
No
one.
no
First time
one
you saw the
go.
map.
No one go near Dreammaster Lake. It's mine.
Dotta, you've never really said where you want land, I don't think.
I think that like Dota's lore really is just like in his name, So
Are you like Highlander, where you just travel the world?
I would think it was Carnival Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
I
a
have,
good
a
call.
homestead, I have a homestead there. I'll trade you if you want.
Cool. Inchp, what about you? Where's your prime real estate? Favorite real estate?
Good question. Out of the plots that I currently have, I would have to maybe go with the Fernome Wold, or I'm totally forgetting the name of my desert, the Blood Dunes. Those two areas have been my favorite of the ones that I've been able to like teleport to and see in person. I do have a settlement now that is unrevealed, so I'm not sure where that plot is located. Find out when the minting comes back online. It'll be good.
Nice. Anyone else on stage got a favorite land plot currently?
Yeah, I managed to get one in the Fae. I've been looking for a Fae plot for the longest time. I rolled a settlement from my mono rolls just last weekend, and I found it was in the Green Wizard. It was in the Green Wizard city, but I found somebody who was willing to trade me that settlement for a Fae settlement. And amazingly enough, I got one that's right in front of some giant mushrooms. That's exactly the vibe I wanted. So I'm very pleased with that.
I've been playing GeoGuessr like nonstop. You guys know GeoGuessr?
No, but I want to. I love geography.
It's so fun. Oh, you'll love it. It's so fun. So I'm sure you've seen the videos on YouTube where there's basically like here's the concept. They show you a random Google Street View, and then they show you can look around. You hit the button, you can see the map, and you got to guess where it is on the map, and it tells you how far you are. It's so fun. You've probably seen there's this one like famous like YouTuber. His name is Rainbolt, and he basically can just tell from like the tops of the grass or whatever, like exactly where he is. He's incredibly good. Well, anyway, I've been playing it for like hours and hours and hours. Anybody in the cult play GeoGuessr? I'm getting
Is it an app or is it in browser?
Both. It was like in browser first, but like you can just get it as an app. I played it as an app.
Okay.
I'm getting really good at knowing where Romania is. So all that to say, I want to make a GeoGuessr for the Runiverse. So that way you can just kind of like, it's a great way that you can just like see all the different like areas, and you got to try to guess where you are. So that's on my wish list.
Sounds fun.
Why don't we talk about how our game is freaking crushing right now?
Crushing right now.
I'm like, well, we're being so tame. Like, we're the 13th most used DApp in the world. What the freak is that about?
I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't even believe it. So I shared the tweet up here, and I think that like crypto Twitter is so dead right now, right? Because it's like, who would have thought that the Forgotten Runes game would be doing more in on-chain transactions than Uniswap v2, and that includes Ethereum and Base. It's crazy. Yeah, so that those numbers are from DApp Radar. So if you don't know, DApp Radar is like it's like a, I don't know, it's a mix between like Etherscan and CryptoSlam. Does anybody use CryptoSlam anymore?
Oh, I remember when you used to send me Crypto Slam like pages all the time, Dotta. You love Crypto Slam.
Mark Cuban invested in it. That should have been my first sign. So anyway, they basically hook into the like on-chain metrics, and
we had to get like approved, right? Like we
had to
put the contracts together.
get approved, right? Yeah, so it's like on an allow listed software. So all that to say, incredibly proud of everyone in the cult who's been playing the game. I mean, the metrics have been very, very good. We've got Jeldor up here. Hey, Jeldor.
Oh, what's going on, dude?
Hey,
going
hey guys.
on?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey.
How
Are you alive? Are you alive, Jeldor?
Yeah. Did you get any sleep
half,
over the last 2
half,
weeks?
half alive, half dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zombie Jeldor. Hi,
Wait,
Zombie
tell
Jeldor.
everybody who Jeldor is.
Jeldor can say it.
Yeah, go for it.
Also known as Bruce in the chat when I forget to kind of switch my Discord name.
Bruce in chat.
Yeah.
I do have a wizard. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Co-founder and the lead of the Runiverse game. So yeah, he has been working his bottom off this week. It's been incredible to see like how fast you guys have been able to like fix things as it comes up. I mean, I know it has not been easy. I mean, there's been so many fires to put out. That is just natural with any kind of like live service game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been great to kind of have the support kind of the cult and to have the support of the community through all this, because um, we've had a lot of fires throughout this, but I think everybody kind of has been very patient with us, and I think it is really inspiring and motivating for the team to see people playing and really getting into it. Whether it's sort of people that are new to the project now or the sort of long time kind of holders to it. Everybody has been, I think, very very graceful and supportive. There's a lot of people in the community that have, I think, defended us and said, hey, this is an early MMO launch. Think about what happened like when WoW launched originally or EverQuest launched originally. So it really is something that we see, and we kind of really appreciate the support.
Yeah, totally. And I think that you've been, I think it's just good for people to like see and hear the faces sort of behind the game, right? Because there's a lot of work. A lot of people had to work really hard for the last 3 years in order to kind of get this game up to where it is today. And it's not perfect. Well, it'll get better. But I think there's been so much fun playing, and the cult has been there, and really appreciate like everyone's comments and feedback and support. So, Jelder, there was a question. There was a question that someone had in the chat, and they were asking about kind of like so right before you joined, or maybe when you were listening, we were talking about the map and the world browser, and about how it's just like an incredibly massive world. And I was excited to drop the land browser because I think people will see just how big it is. But then at the same time, the current version that we're going to drop really just shows a lot of the areas you can teleport to. People are asking questions about like, what percent of the content are we seeing? Not like the houses or whatever, but like, when the game releases, how many other like dungeons are we looking at, or like other maps, and like what's kind of like the plan for just some of the new like content that people are going to see? Like, is there anything you want to share about that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's two things that are really big. So one is that it's the actual progression itself, right? The progression, like how long it's taking people to level up, how long it's taking to get items, that is condensed, from what it will be kind of at launch. There'll be a larger range of spread of levels, a larger range of spread of spells, and the content won't be as quickly consumed, right? So that's part of it. But the other part of it is that there will be new outdoor areas, there will be new quest lines, there will be new dungeons. And then, right, going into live service, right, it will be something where there'll be ongoing updates. And we haven't established the exact cadence yet, but you can imagine something like a dungeon every X months, a bunch of new overworld areas every X months, quests kind of coming in. So it's something where once it's live, you're going to see areas of the world opening up, right? And you're going to see the sort of new dungeons kind of coming in, new encounters coming in. And obviously, we're doing our best to sort of incorporate kind of stories from the Book of Lore, uh, doing our best to sort of bring to life this world that the community kind of has building kind of around us.
Amazing. Yeah. And like the numbers really have been great. I mean, I know that there's been like maybe some skepticism, I suppose, in terms of like what some of the numbers are looking like for, the Daily Donut, which has a very low bar for people to mint the Daily Donut. But I think there's a dashboard. I don't know if I've tweeted it out yet, but I've shared it in Discord on Footprint. I'll tweet it out. That basically talks about like some of the metrics more in detail. So like if you look at like the land that's been minted, like okay, of course, yes, there were a couple of exploits, but the total sum of the land that was minted in those exploits, it's not like it dwarfed the amount of land that happened through kind of organic playing. Like there's still a significant amount of organic minting, people getting the rewards. If you look at the Runiverse items minted over time, you see like really steady numbers there. Here, I'll even share this in the secret tower. And so I think like that's been one of the things that I've really, really loved too, is seeing like the people from the Ronin community come in. Like, yes, of course, there are some people that like take advantage and use bots, but by and large, I mean, the vast number of users that we're seeing coming in are organic or playing the game or participating in the quest. So, yeah, I don't. Was there anything you
Yeah.
want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things that kind of are kind of exciting, right? So, one is that I mean, yes, there are a lot of people in Southeast Asia, and yes, there are a lot of people in Brazil, right? Um, but there are people in Western Europe, there are people in the US. It is global, and it's not just limited to those territories. And if you look at the total number of people that we have playing, right, it it's hard to kind of compare a lot of these numbers because everybody likes to throw the biggest number in, which might be the number that has 99% bots in it. But I just coming from kind of a background kind of in regular gaming, right? Like, and having worked kind of on Elder Scrolls Online and other games, and having grown up kind of playing Ultima Online, all this stuff, there's all these numbers that I can kind of compare it to when I'm looking at concurrence, or even just pulling up, say, the Steam charts, right, to see where games are at in CCU. And the game that we have right now, even in this early beta period, it's bringing numbers in that are not far away from what you would see in like Albion Online, right? A mature game that's been sort of up for, I think at this point, like over half a decade, right? A mature MMO that has a fully kind of living and breathing economy that's a really fun game. So I mean, it's really exciting to see stuff like that. Um, and I think there's this thought, right, that everybody that's kind of coming in is sort of an extractor and they're dumping, but I think it's more complex than that. If you do look at the number of kind of unique owners that we have, right, with the private sale, when we started this, I believe it was sort of at 2 to 3%, and now it's above 13%, right? So, I mean, obviously that's more healthy for us in the long term. And I think that if we're kind of sticking with this for the long term, if we're committed to making kind of a good game that is not something just for this year or next year, um, then it will all kind of be worth it in the long run. And we need to have kind of a big player base, and we need this to be a game that kind of appeals to a wide range of people. Um, and it seems like that's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also feels like a lot of these items or assets in game, like things will be unlocked over time. You know, like with land and being able to yield resources. Like it feels like right now it's like such a V1. Like the economy hasn't even really been switched on because it's not live service and sort of self-fulfilling. So I think that's something that excites me, is like letting the people who are engaging and playing sort of helps like build the beginning of the economy. I think that's going to be really fun to see.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to building my house.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of a lot of the things that are going to be implemented in land that aren't in this build yet because it's such an early version, right? Like there's like all the facilities and stuff that you're going to be able to build because like right now you can only build homesteads. I mean, you can only build houses and you can only build like gathering nodes. But like there's other buildings like the workshop and forges and treasuries that you'll be able to build on your land. And every time people use those facilities that are on your land, you end up getting actually a bonus for them using it. So it's going to be really cool to see that develop and see like how the player economy develops around that, because we're going to see like, you know, obviously there's going to be incentives for people to build like land that's actually like people want to use, that way they can get maximum benefits from it. And people are going to want to like, you know, really try to compete with each other of like, you know, who has like the best forges in the area and stuff like that. Or even location wise, it's going to be like, hey, like if you have like a homestead that's right next to like a popular dungeon or something, right? You may get a lot of foot traffic just because of that dungeon, and so you may end up getting like ideal location. But stuff like that is just going to take time for actually be implemented. And so like right now, it's like housing, like everything that's around plots of land is very early development. But I'm really excited to see how it's going to develop further.
So we've got several like not announcements that are new, but like so we posted several announcements over the last few days. Maybe we could add some color to some of these. Like one of the things that we have is the Dire Bear Challenge, right? The idea is that you put together a party that ends up being the party that is the quickest to defeat the dire bear, and then the configuration and the group that's able to do it the fastest wins some prizes. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about like the motivation, or like, you know, what are you guys seeing for people who are like kind of new to the game? What are you seeing that causes you to sort of make this contest?
Well, I just want to quickly say I thought this was called the Bear Spam Challenge. I don't know why we changed it to Dire Bear, because Bear Spam is so much better.
Yeah, so there's a bear in the windmill dungeon, right, in chapter 2, that was supposed to be a bear that, you know, you kill it once and it dies and it's gone, and kind of just a cool kind of side encounter. And you know, like many things in a lot of the MMOs I've played, kind of the thing that, you know, you spend all this time building kind of this beautiful dungeon, right? You know, you spend so much time kind of in the pyramid dungeon, everything like that, and it's the focus of everybody's attention on the design team. And then, you know, players kind of find something else that they're that they're excited about, right? And that happened here, where, you know, obviously the bear as a kind of, you know, the most efficient way to grind in the game kind of took off as its own thing. And, you know, we had kind of the 2 out of 4 bear spam kind of party looking for parties, looking for a group kind of thing happening outside the dungeon. But it's cool. So we just wanted to kind of acknowledge that and kind of give people like a cool challenge, you know, based around it, give them a harder bear, and then whoever can kind of build like the team that's able to kill the bear the fastest. The idea is there'll be just a prize for that, where everybody in the party would get a settlement, and anybody that kind of makes it into the top 10 will give them a unique bear statue decoration for their house that will, you know, persist into the live service game. And then everybody in the winning group, the top winning group, will get a gold bear statue. So just sort of bragging rights and everything, and the way to remember the bear spam.
Okay, a couple things. I got some questions. This was impromptu. Like, you guys just came up with this?
Yeah. We just saw what was going on, and we thought it would be kind of cool to add into
Hell
the
yeah.
game.
Yeah, so kudos on responding to that, because that's like one of the beauties of Web3 gaming, is responding immediately with an iteration based on a meme that's going on. So fuck yeah. Next thing, my question is the dire bear currently the strongest boss in the Runiverse?
I think it might depend a bit on your party competition, and I mean part of the reason why we were able to do it so fast is that we it's one of the least tested things in the game. So I guess we're gonna kind of find out about that as we get more entries in for it. Uh, the guidance kind of that we gave for it was don't make it impossible, but make it really hard. And it's definitely not impossible because a lot of people are beating it, but um, it's a way stronger bear than the other one.
So yeah, it took a very fine tuning of like specific spells. Like I'm not there. I'm level 18, by the way. If anybody wants to PvP, I'm here in Chronomancer's Riviera. Let me know. Yeah, I haven't got there yet. I want to. And so yeah, the bear is the current biggest boss in the Runiverse, and it could beat any other boss in an arm wrestling match. Is where I'm going with this. That's my question to you, Jaldor.
I've never seen a bear wrestle, but
I have.
We haven't hung out long enough, Jaldor.
But yeah, I think my money might be on the bear.
I just want to ask Bearsnake how he feels that we concocted this whole event as a metaphor for how we
beating up on him.
Yeah, like who can kill the bear the fastest. That's
I've been doing my
obviously a
curls.
metaphor.
I've been doing my curls like every week nonstop since that arm wrestling match.
On just one arm?
Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, listen, what I have to say is like I'm reigning champion, so y'all can step up anytime you want. You know where I am. You know where I'm at. We were gonna do the arm wrestling match on IRL Alpha, but that's just too broy. That's too broy.
Jaldor, I also have one other thing for you. That response you wrote today to the exploit was the most well-crafted response I've ever seen to an exploit in Web3. It was so good.
Well done. That's a high compliment.
I was like, oh, I want to get in there.
Believe it or not, we do have competent people at the helm. I just hope that's clear.
Cool. So one of the other things that we have, I'm not interrupting, right? Sometimes
No, you're good. You're good.
So one of the other things that we've done is we capped the villages and homesteads that were coming from the prize pool, right? And then now we have these new chests, the scale-bound chests. Jaldor, do you want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so one of the things that's kind of confusing about it is that, like, obviously, once you get a seal, it's not on chain, right? You have to go and you have to mint it. So there's a lot of people, actually. There's hundreds and hundreds of people that haven't actually like minted those. So when you get to like looking at what the caps actually are, they're not like one-to-one with what's on chain. What we'll do basically, like after the event closes and we get some time, is we'll sort of try to put that down in a format that's actually understandable for everybody, so they can say, hey, what's on chain, what's sort of just seals that have been sitting in somebody's inventory. But we have like a lot still left over from like EVA memory, for example. So it's one of those things that's kind of confusing. But like, so somebody might say, hey, there's like 70,000 lands. Why would you sort of shut it off now, right? Because you could just keep minting. But not all of the lands. So all of the lands are manually kind of placed in the world in a specific area. So like the designers design kind of like little towns where you have multiple plots placed next to each other, with the idea being that if somebody collects kind of a bunch of plots next to each other, they can make something that's bigger than kind of the sum of its parts. And what that cap means is basically like, hey, these are the lands that we have actually placed in the areas of the world. And like, we don't want to sort of give people a bunch of land that sort of doesn't exist and it's sort of speculative about what may or may not kind of exist in the future. Those are just the places that are placed kind of in an area of the world that has been developed, right? So, once you see kind of the game go to live, then you'll see all the areas open up that connect basically those areas to each other, right? So you'll be able to go there kind of, walking through the world directly to it and be able to use them. And then those other plots that are sort of past, you could call it like the soft cap, right? Those are ones that are kind of reserved for basically future areas of the world, the future areas that will be kind of developed and open up later.
Yeah, and I think an important point here is this idea that like we are developing the game and the assets in parallel, right? We're releasing assets or attempting to release assets in parallel with the development and the usage of the game. It doesn't do anybody any favors for us to kind of like to have too many plots of land, and especially when they're not playable, right? That's one of the reasons why we kind of held off years long in actually doing a land sale is because we wanted to make sure that the game had functionally playable land for by the time that we released it. And so I'm like really proud of that. That wasn't something that a lot of other projects did, right? You're all still probably holding tons of plots from, I can think of, 5 or 6 other games that sold land that still don't have a live service game or barely even a beta where you can actually use that land. So I think that's a good plan. It's a good plan to be building out the game while we release the land.
And I mean, just so that we're prepared for, I mean, right? Like, it's not. These are the lands that were kind of placed over the course of development, right? Like, they're not going to be produced at the same rate. Like, they're going to be gradually kind of opening up. And I mean, it's not something where the supply is something where it just gets to 70,000 kind of overnight, right? It takes a long time to kind of build up the areas, and we want those plots to kind of exist around parts of the game that people are playing through, right? So it's going to take a while for the supply to increase, and this is the first big buildup. That's like all the stuff that we've been doing so far before opening up the open map.
Cool. Another really fun thing that we have is the banners. Bear Entropy, do you want to talk a little bit about those?
Apparently they don't.
Apparently they don't.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. I was on mute.
I was also muted. I got multiple
Learn how to
buttons
use
set up.
spaces, guys.
Mute / on the toilet.
Gosh, John, I'll take it, and then Entropy fill in the blank. I think it's obviously important to like sort of embrace the new Ronin community. And so those flags sort of represented a lot of the core guilds on that side of of like the new player base, right? And so it's a way for us to sort of offer a olive branch, right? Like, I think the cult has wizards, right, that they get to play as the skins, and I think it's important to sort of welcome people in the right way, and that was like our nod to them. I also know that like there's a ton more planned just for the cult themselves, right? And so I think like the way I look at these guild flags and items that people could craft in game is that is like a first sort of iteration of how you can see us reacting in real time to new things that are happening to emergent behavior. And so I think we're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff once the game is up and live. I know Bruce was excited and team to like implement that stuff, because at the end of the day, you really, in an MMO, you want it to feel personal. You want to feel like you're crafting items that represent you.
Can you talk a little bit about
your player
like
character?
some of the specific guilds that have flags a little bit?
Sure, of course, yeah. So there's a handful, right? I think not starting at the top, but like we've done a lot of stuff with Moku, which is run by Hanta, who was, I think, on the show a couple weeks ago. We've been doing collabs with them in their Discord and doing giveaways. And so there's a Moku flag, right? And a lot of the people in the Moku Discord and the Moku community come from like the original Axie. And so a lot of like the Ronin creators are based in the Moku guild. And there's YGG, which is the Yield Guild. Again, another big player in the Ronin ecosystem. I think everybody is sort of seeing these people on the timeline, making sure that they had something to craft and put in their own houses. We have the Kind Guild. The Kind Guild has really come on strong, at least from my perspective. They just have such a rich community of creators. I mean, the videos that we're seeing, all the illustrations, just like the player made videos of like certain interactions and battles and crafting stuff, like it's been kind of overwhelming in a good way. And I think that's why we're like feeling so good about being a part of this ecosystem and bring them into the cult. Beyond that, Entropy, what am I missing? Those are 3. I know that there's more than 3.
Yeah, in addition, I've got the post pinned up here at the top of the space for anybody who wants to check out the whole list and see the previews of them. But yeah, it's Kind HQ, Bood Nation, Ronin, Yield Guild, and then Moku. It makes up the top 5 for this first guild collab. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a really nice way for us to be able to give that little bit of linkage within the game. And these are certainly guilds that have really shown up during this open beta. I mean, heck, YGG and Kind HQ, the content that we're seeing from them in many cases is like starting to sort of like front run things that the game might be producing, right? We've seen these wonderful maps come out with all of the quests, like, or rather like the monsters and the drops and the resources on them too, just like these incredible resources that are coming from these partner communities. So I think it's been really fruitful on both sides. I think it's worth mentioning too that the flags are persistent. So if you you craft one of these in game, this will stay in your inventory, even giving any sort of account wipes and things like that have to come in the future too. And I think I could probably safely say that this is first of many kind of guild collabs, and the door is open for these types of partnerships. So there's lots of other groups out there I think that we could engage with, especially as we work towards live service, and it'd be a really good kind of just good beneficial partnership.
Is Dotta talking right now?
No.
Okay. Sorry. All right. Well, we have a handful of other questions, sort of tangential to the game. So let's jump on those real quick. SPZ is asking. He's asking if there's any cards that are missing. I mean, SPZ, I don't know what you have. Apparently, he's got 46 cards, including all the face cards, the Shadow Dota, the Shadow Goat, and the Secret Tower. But I don't know. Is there more than 46 cards? Do you guys know?
There is, but we haven't revealed them yet. But yeah, like you can expect them kind of for future events and stuff like that to be able to get the full set.
Nice. All right. Okay, and then Code Nino's asking about the additional donuts that we've been mentioning. And he wants to know if there is a loose time frame on those donuts. And Dota just left the stage. I don't think we do have a time frame on those, Code Nino, unless Dota wants to come up here and correct me. Man, did we lose Bear too?
I'm still here.
They went off to arm wrestle.
Yeah, exactly. All right. All good. Okay, yeah. I don't know if there is a time frame, Code Nino, but I mean, yeah, probably the next week or two, I would guess. So yeah, okay. And then Nico2626 is asking, when is the Warrior event and the 3D models? Great question, Nico. Halloween. We're gonna do a Halloween event with the Warrior 3D models. I think it's going to be the best 3D event yet, because of course it will include the Wizards, the Warriors, the Souls, all the 3D models.
So fun.
Yep.
Will they give us donuts?
There may be some donuts involved. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, it's going to be amazing. Bear and I have been talking to the Edison team about putting this thing together. So I'm actually really excited about it.
So I've got a question about elaborating more on the guild piece. I've just joined Grimoire Guild, which has really taken off in the last week or so, as people are getting into in-game content, bear run, pyramid runs. Are we going to see, as the guild aspect increases, are we going to see the game do more to kind of support that collaboration? Whether that's here is a land, or here is a settlement. This settlement belongs to Grimoire Guild. This is where Grimoire Guild can meet up and collaborate together as teams and kind of have that kind of community aspect within the actual Runiverse world?
Yes, and I think you're going to see a lot of that kind of in the next build, at least the first stages of it, when we kind of go kind of into this early access of live service. If you look at what's happening kind of in the Hedge Wizard, the Hedge Wizard encampment when you start, right, or you go there, you inscribe recipes, and that's kind of where you're sort of going back to progress and everything and go through the game. All of those buildings, those are buildings that if you own like a village, if you own a town, you'll be able to build those buildings there, right? And you'll have a choice of what to build. You'll have limits on kind of how many recipes can be inscribed kind of in the facilities that you build. You'll have a choice of building gathering stations versus building some of the other facilities. And we won't have this one in this first release, but we'll eventually have a guild hall, and we'll have what you would expect normally for support of a guild in the game, with guild chat and being able to see kind of guild members come online and all of that kind of stuff. But even in this initial kind of release with the ownership of the land, you'll be able to sort of have this shared space that you're building up together as a guild, and decide if you're going to open that up to other people or if it's more kind of kept closer to just your guild. And you might have kind of a corner on certain recipes that are sort of so rare that other people haven't gotten them, or you might be the only guild that has sort of built the facilities that you need for red mages to specialize and that kind of thing. So yeah, like really a big part of this is that this is a player-driven economy, and we imagine, right, the guilds will be some of the biggest players in that they'll be the ones that are kind of responsible for running some of the most important cities in the game. So progression kind of in the Hedge Wizard Forest, progression that would happen kind of in a city, that progression only takes you to low levels. It's not like the current build where you can inscribe kind of all the recipes in the starter area. You need to go to these player built cities, basically, that will be the ones that you have to kind of go to actually be able to progress further. And that's really the vision, that's the goal, and that's what we're building kind of the game around, that it is the guilds, that it is the players that are building the world, that are running the economy.
Interesting.
Does that answer your question, Andrew?
It absolutely does, and that's extremely exciting. I love what they, Grimoire Guild, Nix.ron, Iogic.ron, what they have done in their own personal time to create these amazing resources for players to help them, advance through these stages.
Out of pure curiosity, Andrew, what do you enjoy the most about Grimoire so far, based on your experience? Like, what should guilds be doing that made you enjoy it so much?
They are very, very they're very intelligent about like their builds. So it's like this is the ideal gear setup. This is the ideal spell setup. They're very, very intelligent about theory crafting and creating these really interesting concepts with spells that are from very early game to like from violent dismissal, and how you can chain those together with a group, and how they've kind of like created this very intelligent way of thinking about battles. And as well, they've created a community where where you can find these people that are just super nerdy. I'm very much a nerd. I read 100+ books a year. So finding other people that are super nerdy and passionate, and like to geek out about these things is very interesting. It's extremely rewarding.
You read
in the game.
100 books a year?
I do.
Can you tell us some of the books you read recently?
Tell us all the books you've read recently, and by that I
Name
mean
all the
100.
books.
Oh, you like books?
I do
Name
want to
every
know.
book.
So the last book I read recently was Sound and Fury by William Faulkner
Oh.
from Mississippi. I read James by Percival Everett.
I mean,
That was also
Faulkner is not that easy to get through. I don't think I could read that in half a week.
I knocked it out in about a week. I love Zadie Smith. Yeah.
By the way, I was kidding. You
read
don't have to
all
name
of-
100 books.
No, that sounds great though. I think that's exactly the kind of that's the kind of we would definitely want to foster that kind of team play, that kind of sharing of information that you guys are doing right there. So like definitely we're excited to have those kind of guilds come in and kind of like geek out and experiment with all the builds. We've been seeing a ton of them, self content related to that stuff being posted. So we're really excited. Every time we see like a really good guide, we share it internally. Like, wow, this person, I didn't even think of like some strategies. Like there's some strategies that I saw that were like using certain spells and combos with each other. So like get like under 50% HP to like completely like, whittle down like the bear and stuff. Those like amazing. We want to see more people do stuff like that. So like definitely all of your guild friends, everybody, we'd love to have them come in, and we'd love to help facilitate like, a better gameplay experience for them to come in as a group. So those guild halls that are going to be in the later builds of the game are going to be really helpful for that, for collaborative play.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I've been trying to bring Bear up, but he's just gone.
Oh, maybe Dota beat him too hard in arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I think we got through all the cult questions as well. So I suppose that means it's time for, okay, guys, do it with me. The Cult
Okay, I'm
Content
ready.
Chronicle, compiled by
The illustrious.
Tanya Del Rio.
Every
There it
Damn
is.
Week. Okay, well, that was pretty good. And Entropy, I love the new sound effect that you're adding. So it's getting better. We're doing good, guys.
We got layers.
Yeah. All right. For those of you who don't know what the Cult Content Chronicle is, every week at the end of the show, we go over the creative contributions of the community at large. And who is Tanya Del Rio, you may ask? This is one of our most premier cult members who is gracious enough to compile all of this in a Twitter thread every damn week. So I think somebody will pin it to the top here if you want to follow along. But yeah, and then we review it on Wizard Wednesday. So let's jump right in. Number one, Jason DeSante finally takes the number one spot with a dancing Wizzy Viddy Viddy. Jason's been doing this, I think, for 68 weeks now. However, this particular post is special because all of these dancing Wizzy Vizzy Viddies have been in service of this really fun tool that he's been making called the Contract Wizard. So go check out the post to see what that's about. Number two, another thing we've been seeing a lot in the Chronicle lately is a lot of Ronin creators, a lot of super talented Ronin creators. Gilly.ron is one of them. And what I love about Gilly's posts is she is one of the few cosplayers that we have in the cult at the moment. We haven't seen a lot of cosplay over the years, but Gilly has been doing a lot of it lately, and it's so cool. I love it. So Gilly actually has not one but two entries in the Chronicle. The second one is Gilly in a summoning circle, summoning donuts. Super cool. Feckless has released a Bread Friend plushie that is on sale right now. Go to feckless.toys. And Feckless has been drawing really cute versions of Bread Friend. He's got two in the Chronicle this week. Feckless also has been making a 3D printed secret tower that just looks amazing. Magus Devon has continued commissioning art for his wizard, Magus Devon of the Quantum Downs. He's got 2 commissions this week. Another Ronin creator, David Azul.Ron, did a really beautiful illustration this week of a wizard with a, I'm not sure if it's a quantum mushroom, but it's definitely a magical mushroom. And then Daniela Illustra, another person who the phrase every damn week applies to. Daniela has a piece literally in every chronicle. This week was no exception. It's a really awesome progress video, work in progress video of a crow. Looks like of a crow between 2 spells. Virgilius the Sorcerer, who is continually developing lore for his Soul Wizard and his Tengu Wizard, has 2 pieces this week. Mino.Ron, another Ronin creator, shared a commission by Oshio-san of their Warrior. The Djinn Poet shared a really cool piece of wizard art made with a typewriter. I don't even know how you do this, but it's a really cool technique. Yeah, it's amazing. I don't even know what to say about it. I don't even know how you would do this, but they're doing it. It's a piece of typewriter art of actually Igdual's wizard. Very cool. And so there's 2 posts on that. Fabula shared a fun VTuber video of himself as his 3D wizard playing as his 2D wizard in the Runiverse game. Super cool. Another Ronin creator, BioArtem.Run, shared a process video of them basically mashing up Mokus and wizards. I love the mashups. Super cute. OX Waldo shared a tribute to people farming in the Runiverse game, which has Bearsnake, Dotta, and Jitsi in it. 2 Crows continues creating with just a really great illustration of the 2 Crows house. And then 2 Crows also shared a video of them minting land in the Runiverse game. Zayla Soul shared a fun AI piece of a wizard falling asleep playing the Runiverse game because presumably he was up all night. Hin Boyd shared a hilarious Antiques Roadshow meme. Man, I love Antiques Roadshow. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Niski shared a really cool gin of a bunch of wizard hats. And then Enchanter Orbis shared a beautiful gin of everybody's favorite DJ wizard, Augur Gwendolyn. I actually really liked this piece this week. It's just beautiful. Dotta, I think this is using the AI art tool that you made. What do you think? It looks like it? Dotta is still up here, but maybe he can't hear me.
Yeah, no, maybe so. I don't know. I don't think so. It looks better than that one that I published, so we'd have to ask Orbis. I'm not sure.
Okay. Castamere, my God, man, I love what you do, and especially what you do with everybody's favorite vampire meme, Lil Nas.
So good. It's so good.
I don't even know how to describe this. Do you guys want to take a crack at describing what we're looking at?
Board Nas Yacht Club?
Ooh, very good. Yeah,
I don't know.
I was gonna go for like Nosferatu or Nosferatu Summer, but it's a little bit of a stretch, and there's not enough Brat Green in there. So.
Oh boy.
It's great. Just look at it. There's somebody pin it to the top. It's worth looking at.
I thought it was just a picture of the wizard yacht party that went out in NFC NYC a few years ago.
Yes, I think this is actually a direct 1-to-1 image of what happened on that yacht. I think you're right, Matto. Okay, Chimpers the NFT. Chimpers, our good friends at Chimpers, did a little Forgotten Runes crossover with one of their collectible cards. It's really adorable. Chimpers continues to just impress me. They're one of those NFT projects that's just like legitimately building and hanging in there through the bear market and just still thriving. And so it was great to collaborate with them on a fun little piece that has a kobold and a wizard in it. Super cute. Maple Dad continues with the riddles in the dark. Day 254. Very impressive. And then finally, Magic Monday News featured this special guest, Wizard Small, on their latest episode. You can check it out. It happened 2 days ago on Monday. And I think that's it.
Oh, yo.
Wait, who was
back?
that? I didn't.
It's
Wild Mage.
All right.
It's Wild Mage. I just
Yeah,
Oh.
you were still here. I didn't know if you wanted.
since you just happened to bring up, Monday Magic News, I wanted to
Yeah.
let everyone know that the co-founder of Moku, the Bruce, is going to be on our show this coming Monday, and he's going to tell us all about the Moku ecosystem and their plans and their future, and how being a part of the wizard community, we can benefit from that and join in. And then the following Monday, we're going to have NFT Sasha, who is going to fill us in on this Unchained game that's coming.
Oh yeah, Sasha's game. It's literally called like Unchained, right?
Yes.
Yep, I've been seeing the artwork from that, which I believe it's Oz who has been doing all of that. It looks so freaking cool.
Yes, Oz has been. And
I don't
does
think
look
I
pretty good.
haven't seen it. I don't know about it.
Look in the Dow.
Tell me about it.
Well, he might just happen to have some sort of teaser trailer coming in the next week or so before he goes on the show. So yeah, you got just look him up. Keep an eye.
Okay, amazing.
Old school dungeon crawlers will love it.
Yeah. So Wild Mage, you said he's coming on the next Magic Monday News. Is that what you said?
Yes. Bruce,
okay.
The Moku co-founder, is this coming Monday, but then the following Monday will be NFT Sasha.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to. I'm in competition with Magic Monday News, and so I'm gonna say, Sasha, if you want to come on Wizard Wednesday next week, we can get the exclusive and beat Magic Monday News.
Well, I guess
just kidding. No,
actually,
you
that
can
would
go
be
on
kind
both,
of
Sasha.
that would be kind of funny depending on the timing of the teaser trailer and all.
Hey, Wild Mage, did you know you're going to be a Donut Quest?
No.
Was that a surprise for you?
I mean, you're telling me right now.
That flipped over.
Oh, you mean with the with Monday Magic News the following? Yes, we shouted you guys out actually on the past show because all of a sudden whenever I first saw, I think it was the Forgotten Runes Press that first turned over, and I was like, maybe us. Yes, we are very thankful for the increased following to Monday Magic News. We're going to have to up our game. So yeah, me and Henvoid have been kind of busy on the side of things, but we have a few things in mind to continue to grow the show. So check us out.
It's always a good time. You guys are great.
Love it.
Very cool. Okay, Feckless, you came up here. Did you have a question, or you wanted to talk about Bread Friend, or what do you got?
I just wanted to talk about Bread Friend some more because it's my favorite. I wanted to remind you all that the pre-sale's going on right now. Go to feckless.toys. It's a cute, adorable little toast. That's about it. There's a game on that website you can play if you're bored of the Runiverse, but I doubt you are, so...
People will need
there
something
it
to
is.
do after Thursday, 10 a.m.
So you'll be the only game in town.
Yeah, there you go. Pinned to the
True,
top.
that and
if
Runes
anybody wants to
TCG.
check it out.
My daughter loves stuffies, so I need to order like a bag of them.
Well, I'll be waiting.
Well, Dota's got one coming in his premium treasure trove as well.
Amazing.
And Mika Dad checking in here. Just a reminder, if you do need to sneak in for a treasure trove, there.
All right, I think that's it.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Meeple. Continue.
All right. The other thing I wanted
Man,
to
I
check.
can't hear Meeple. Sorry, Meep, I can't hear you.
The other thing I wanted to check in on, just a real quick Dow saying hi. The Dow finished our fundraising auction where we auctioned off a handful of warriors a week and a half ago. And so thanks to everybody who chipped in and participated in that. We learned a lot from the process, and we'll be updating it and improving it for future fun that we're going to have as a team. And and if you have more questions, there is a proposal of mine that you can have a look at in the Dow channel. So head down to the Dow channel and say hi there. And can I stick you with my question? I had my question, my Wizard Wednesday question about value and storytelling and creating.
Yeah, actually you can. I feel like Dotta might not be able to hear you because I think he's in the car, but
I can't hear anything Meeple's saying. What's the question?
Okay, I'll just.
You can be the portal between
Okay,
us.
I will translate, and Meeple, if you want to add on top, then let me know. But Meeple is asking, okay, from a philosophical perspective, where does yeah. No, it's good. It's good. He says, where does the value lie? Is it in the person who wrote the lore, or is it in the token itself? Because the former recognizes the value of the creator, but the latter recognizes the right of the author to sell their work, passing on the value of the token. So
pass. Yeah. Well, you can answer this.
I knew he wouldn't answer. Meeple,
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I'm not totally sure what you mean. Are you talking like for example, like it's like on the one hand, the status of the artist themselves is what makes the piece of artwork valuable, or and then on the other hand, that the work stands alone and carries its own value. Is that sort of what you're talking about?
And then there's the question of how you define the value. Is it your intrinsic value and the pride from creating something, or are you talking monetary value?
Well, I think we can point to a specific character in the Runiverse. We can point to Two Crows as an excellent, petri dish for this sort of question, because Two Crows changed owners, and yet the legend of Two Crows lives on. And then specifically, I wondered about the lore donuts. Where did the lore donuts get allocated? Was that to the token holder or the token author?
Okay, for the first part of your question regarding Two Crows, yeah, I mean, that is a shining example of like value traveling with the token itself. And I mean, so there's the case in point to prove that. But I would imagine like we're also going to see cases where like, I don't know, like imagine if like George R. R. Martin got a wizard and he wrote like just a few sentences of lore on it, though. I think that wizard would still be very valuable simply because George R. R. Martin wrote 2 sentences of lore on it. So I don't know. I don't think there really is a universal answer for this. It's just on a case by case basis. What do you think?
I would say it's both. It's both the creativity and the original story created by the person that wrote it, but then part of the things that's special about this is that you can then sell your token, and then you're kind of passing on ownership of that IP to the new owner. So I don't know that I could rank one versus the other. They're both very important parts of the process, but I feel like they both have a lot of merit. And the Two Crows example is a perfect case. It's really cool to see that lore revitalized and continued on, and the bazaar lives. So I think if you write a story strong enough that the secondary owner wants to continue it, that's a testament to how good the lore was.
Absolutely.
A testament to. It is a testament to how good the lore was. That's true.
I'm actually still in the ticket dungeon. This is Tadbot answering your questions here today.
I asked the question because it is sort of a question without an answer, and I just want people to think about it and sort of keep their brain working. So thanks for pointing in.
People, I love these kinds of questions. Yeah, I mean, again, the Two Crows example is just so amazing. Two Crows, if you're out there, come up on Wizard Wednesday sometime. I want to talk to you about what you're doing with that wizard, and just why you chose to continue with the previous lore, and where you think it can go, and just your whole creative process. It's a super cool example. Okay, anything else, guys?
I think I'm good. The Runiverse game ends tomorrow, sadly, but it'll be back.
But happily, we've got a Bread Friend game to play in the meantime. Entropy, can you fire it up?
Yeah, sure can.
Yeah, go buy your Bread Friends. Go buy your treasure troves. Actually, the treasure trove window is closed, so if you didn't get one, sorry. But you can still get a Bread Friend. This has been Elf, Bear, Dotta, Matatsuki, Entropy, Bridge, Tad Major, Feckless, Meeple, Dad, Wild Mage. We had Geldor up here today. Channeling out from the Quantum Down. See you all next week. GN.
Bye.
It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Black Goat Elf, Dotta Puppet 2, Bearsnake by the ocean blue. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Kobolds and Dream Masters soar, putting their root on the door. It's Wizard Wednesday forevermore. Wizard Wednesday, lore at the core. We are a cult with a world of our own, never forgotten or magic is known. It's Wizard Wednesday, it's Wizard Wednesday. Let's read from the book of lore, legendary wizards at the core. Don't get lost in the quantum shadow, abracadabra is our magical manifesto. Eat a donut, set your soul on fire. The sacred flame on a funeral pyre. The seventh gate with golden locks. The nightmare imp with a treat box. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Wednesday.